Winston Churchill, a stalwart of unwavering resolve, steered the course of history with his formidable leadership during the tumultuous times of World War II. Born into aristocracy, yet familiar with struggle, his journey from the military to the pinnacle of British politics was anything but smooth. Churchill's indomitable spirit during Britain's darkest hours not only fortified a besieged nation, but also sculpted the alliances and strategies that would ultimately tilt the scales of the war. This exploration into Churchill's life seeks to illuminate the man behind the iconic speeches and steadfast decisions, revealing a complex individual whose legacy, etched into the annals of global history, is both celebrated and critiqued. Winston Leonard Spencer Churchill was born on November 30th, 1874, into the prominent Spencer Churchill family, a lineage entwined with British nobility and military valor. His father, Lord Randolph Churchill, was a charismatic conservative politician, while his mother, Jenny Jerome, was an American socialite of notable influence. Young Winston's early years were marked by an inherent rebelliousness and a solitary nature, often overshadowed by the towering legacy of his ancestors. His academic journey, punctuated by stints at Harrow School and subsequently the Royal Military Academy Sandhurst, was neither conventional nor distinguished. Yet, amidst the struggles and the often tumultuous relationship with his parents, the seeds of resilience and a penchant for leadership were sown. These formative years, while seemingly unremarkable, quietly sculpted the resolve that would one day steer a nation through its darkest hours. Embarking upon a political journey in the shadows of his father, Winston Churchill entered the British political arena at the turn of the 20th century. His initial foray into politics was marked by a blend of audacity and strategic maneuvering, navigating through the Conservative and Liberal parties. Elected as a Member of Parliament in 1900, Churchill's early political career was anything but mundane. His stances, often unbridled and contentious, saw him traverse the political spectrum, advocating social reform and vehemently opposing certain policies of his own party. The Dardanelles campaign during World War I, which aimed to secure a vital sea route, ended in disaster and cast a pall over his political future. Churchill, however, undeterred by the setbacks and public criticism, continued to carve out a path defined by both triumphs and tribulations, laying the foundation for the resilient leadership that would later define his legacy during the Second Global Conflict. The interwar period saw Winston Churchill navigating through a political wilderness, distanced from the central stage of British politics, yet never fully eclipsed. His vociferous opposition to the appeasement policies towards Adolf Hitler and Nazi Germany, while initially isolating him, eventually bore the marks of prophetic insight as Europe plunged once more into conflict. During these wilderness years, Churchill also immersed himself in writing, producing a plethora of works that not only provided financial stability, but also kept his political voice alive in public discourse. His warnings about the rising tide of totalitarianism, though largely unheeded at the time, would soon resonate with chilling clarity as the world teetered on the brink of another devastating war. This period, while seemingly a lull in his political journey, was a crucible in which Churchill's unwavering resolve and foresight were starkly illuminated against the backdrop of a world descending into chaos. In the dark, ominous clouds that enveloped Europe in 1939, Winston Churchill emerged as a beacon of hope and resilience for a beleaguered Britain and, indeed, the free world. His ascension to the role of Prime Minister in 1940 was not merely a political appointment, but a summons by destiny to steer a nation through its bleakest hours. Churchill's leadership during World War II was not only pivotal for Britain, but also instrumental in shaping the trajectory of the global conflict. When the relentless blitzkrieg of the Nazi war machine threatened to engulf Britain, Churchill's speeches became a symphony of defiance and determination. His words, "We shall fight on the beaches, we shall never surrender," echoed not merely on the British Isles, but across oceans, instilling a spirit of indomitable resistance against a seemingly invincible foe. His oratory, imbued with a fervent belief in victory despite overwhelming odds, became a moral compass, guiding the Allies through the tempest of war. Churchill's role in forging alliances was equally crucial. The relationships he cultivated with other Allied leaders, notably President Franklin D. Roosevelt of the United States and Premier Joseph Stalin of the Soviet Union, were pivotal in orchestrating a unified front against the Axis powers. The delicate balance of ensuring cooperation amidst divergent post-war aspirations was a testament to his diplomatic acumen and strategic foresight. In the realm of military strategy, Churchill was intimately involved, often immersing himself in planning and decision-making processes. From the deserts of North Africa to the stormy beaches of Normandy, his fingerprints were indelibly imprinted on the strategies that would eventually turn the tide of the war. His willingness to embrace unconventional and bold strategies, such as the Support for Special Operations Executive, SOE, showcased a leader unafraid to explore uncharted territories in pursuit of victory. Yet the journey was not without its shadows. Churchill faced numerous challenges and criticisms, both from within his war cabinet and as the war drew to a close and the landscape of Europe was irrevocably altered. Churchill found himself not only as a victor in a global conflict, but also as a shaper of a new world order. His vision, however, was not universally embraced, and the post-war period brought new challenges, both for the world and for Churchill himself. In exploring this defining era, we witness a leader who, in the crucible of conflict, stood as an unwavering sentinel against tyranny, shaping not only the destiny of a nation, but etching his legacy into the very fabric of global history. In the aftermath of the cataclysmic conflict, Winston Churchill, the indomitable leader who had steered Britain through the perils of war, encountered an unexpected turn of fate. The 1945 general election, to the astonishment of many, saw him and his Conservative Party ousted from power, replaced by Clement Attlee's Labour Party. The British populace, weary from war and yearning for the promises of domestic reconstruction and social welfare, chose a different path for the post-war era. Churchill, however, remained an influential figure on the global stage. His prescient Iron Curtain speech, delivered in Fulton, Missouri in 1946, unveiled the emerging fractures in the Allied bloc and heralded the onset of the Cold War. Churchill spoke of an Iron Curtain descending across the continent, dividing East and West, and underscored the ideological chasm that was forming between the democratic West and the communist East. His words, echoing amidst the ruins of a war-ravaged Europe, highlighted the new geopolitical realities and challenges that the world would grapple with in the ensuing decades. Despite the initial shock of electoral defeat, Churchill's political journey was far from over. His role in the opposition and subsequent return to power in the early 1950s showcased a political resilience and an enduring influence that transcended the boundaries of wartime leadership, further solidifying his place as one of the pivotal figures in modern history. Winston Churchill's political odyssey did not conclude with the end of World War II. His second term as Prime Minister, commencing in 1951, unfolded amidst a world grappling with the burgeoning Cold War and a Britain navigating through post-war recovery and the dismantling of its empire. This era was marked by significant domestic challenges, including economic struggles, decolonization, and the advent of the nuclear age. Churchill, though a seasoned leader, found himself navigating through a dramatically altered political and global landscape. His later years in office were also shadowed by health issues, which, while kept largely secret from the public, impacted his leadership. In 1955, Churchill resigned from his position, citing his health and age as determining factors, yet his influence lingered in British politics and global affairs. In the twilight of his life, Churchill dedicated himself to writing and painting, pursuits that had always provided solace and reflection away from the political arena. His death in 1965 was met with a global outpouring of grief and admiration, signifying the end of an era and the departure of a leader who had stood resiliently through some of the darkest chapters of human history. Churchill's legacy is a tapestry of triumphs, trials, and controversies. Celebrated as a savior of democracy and a stalwart opponent of tyranny, his decisions, particularly regarding colonial policies and military strategies, have also been subjects of critique and re-evaluation. His life and career serve as a testament to the complexities and paradoxes inherent in leadership during times of crisis and change. Today, Winston Churchill is remembered not only as a political leader, but also as an orator, writer, artist, and a symbol of defiant resistance against oppression. His words and actions continue to be studied, admired, and debated, ensuring that his legacy, in all its multifaceted dimensions, endures in the corridors of history and collective memory.